5 years ago, I made this video where my brother makes some pretty spectacular football catches, and today I'm going to show you how we did it. And spoiler alert, it was all fake. However, we did some nifty editing and choreography to try and deceive you. Let's get into it. So for starters, this is a three-person operation. We had my brother, the talent, we had my cousin who was the ball thrower, and myself behind the camera. You only hear my voice though. So the setup of this shot was actually very important because it needed to be on a tripod, and the bottom 60% of the frame needed to be some sort of stable background where there's not a lot of moving parts like trees or cars in the background. So this patch of grass, this field, works perfectly. So the first deceitful thing we did was very simple but effective. It set the stage. The first thing we see is my cousin running from the left side of the screen to the right holding two footballs. This tells the viewer that, hey, someone's gonna be throwing footballs from the right side of the screen to the left. Then my brother enters, he lands on his mark, and he's still talking to our cousin that we just saw exit the frame. We wanted to feel a little natural. Then what's next? You throw the footballs and he catches them? Absolutely not. Take a look. A young Scot crouches into frame holding a football for my brother to grab, which he does before I scoot off. Our second deception technique is my brother's acting, where he continues to talk to the ball thrower. But guess what? He's not even there. Because something we don't see is as soon as my cousin exited the frame, he ran all the way around behind the camera to the left side of the frame to do this.
Wow.
The video ends with all of us getting hyped and jumping on each other, and this is where the third deception technique comes in, because look where my cousin comes from. He comes from the right side of the frame where we've established him from the very beginning, like he needs to come from there. So this meant that after he handed my brother the football, he had to run back around the camera and come in from the right side of the frame with all the excitement as if we'd been at this for hours. And after I handed my football off, I got behind the camera getting ready to move the camera at the very end to prove that this was handheld the whole time. But you can actually kind of see that the camera lifts a bit because I'm literally just picking up the tripod. A little mistake on my part, but hey, we made it. When it came to editing the clips, it was pretty simple. The first thing I did was add a fake camera shake, which most fake viral videos have. And the second thing was just cutting out my cousin and I, which is really simple when we have a stable, consistent background, like I mentioned earlier. I then took a blank shot of footballs flying across my screen so I could cut that out and use those for the footballs that eventually got edited in to fly across to match my camera's motion blur and make it look as realistic as possible. The next deceitful thing we did came from the audio. Right before my brother's first catch, you hear ball coming from the right channel to indicate, hey, my cousin's over there throwing the ball. And then after the catch, you hear a big whew to show that I was behind the camera the whole time, which we had to do because, again, we weren't there. I was handing him the ball and my cousin was running in circles around the camera. Edit all that together and you have a pretty convincing video, but we weren't done yet. Oh no. We felt like we needed to deceive the eyes of critical social media viewers everywhere, so we filmed some legitimate takes at this with my brother even jamming his thumb on one of them to show that, hey, here are the bloopers and here's the one that just worked that we filmed. Because surely, who would go through all the effort of all this editing, all this preparation just to show some slightly nicer than average football catches, right? Well, we did. And until this day, this has been my second biggest kept secret of all time. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Peace.